Happy Friday, boys and girls. Let's correct workbook page 121, area. Number 1, 26 square units. 2, 6 square units. 3, 8 square units. 4, 16 square units. 5, 7 square units. 10 square units for 6, and 7 is 9 square units. 8 is 13 square units. 9 is 9 square units. Number 10, if you drew up a picture, you would see it was 3 by 4, and you would have added them all together and got 12 square units. And for 11, you would have gotten 72 square units. Okay, let's move on to today's lesson. Today we're learning about volume, and it's 9.12 in your textbook on page 324. We're going to look at that. Your volume vocabulary word says that it's the number of cubic units in a figure. Yesterday we talked about square units. Today we're talking about cubic units. The difference, let's talk about the difference between a squared unit and a cubic unit. A cubic unit shows a three-dimensional figure. You have a width, you have a length, and you have a height. You have a length, you have a width, and you have a height. You have 3 parts when you have a cubic. So cubic means the 3. If we were measuring centimeters, it would be centimeters cubed with the 3, a little 3 up there. Because you have length, width, and height. Yesterday when we were talking about squared units, we were talking about the length and the width. So we were only talking about 2 things yesterday. That's why there was a 2 there, centimeters squared yesterday. Today we're talking about the 3-dimensional figure, so it's going to be cubed. So that's the difference with this cubed units. Volume is cubed, area is squared. Okay? So that's the difference today. Today, again, we're going to be measuring or looking at how many blocks or cubes there would be in a picture or in an area. Yesterday, we talked about, not yesterday, but a couple of days ago, we talked about perimeter and measuring if you had a yard and you wanted to fence in the area for the dog. The outside area is the perimeter of your yard. Today we're talking about the inside, the area and the volume, how much space. Okay, so let's look at number 1 in your textbook. Instead of having a flat face to count, today we have how many high, how many wide, and how many long it is. We're thinking about 3 different things today. So if you can tell, this block is all 1, right? So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, because this is 1, 14, 15, 16. This is all 1. So you have 16 on one of the layers of this problem, of this cube, this rectangle. If you can notice, there's 1 layer and there's a second layer. So if you have 16 on the first layer, you're going to have the same amount on the second layer. So it would be like 16 times 6, or plus 16. 16 plus 16. You can count them all twice, or you can just find out what 1 layer is, and then add the second layer. If there was a 3rd layer, you would add it 3 times. Or you could do 16 times 3, or 16 times 2, because there's 2 layers. So this one would be, number 1 would be 32, and whatever the units are. It doesn't tell us, so we're going to say cubic units. For number 1, okay? For number 2, this also has 2 layers. So if we find out how many are on the second layer, we can just add another 1. We can double it, or say times 2. So the top layer, the top stacks of blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 in one layer, but you see there's a second layer. There's the same amount in the second layer as in the first layer. Even though you can't see this one back here, you can only see 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Can't see that back one? There is one. So you could say 4, and you want another one because there's two 4s. 1, 2, 1, 2. You'd add them together and you'd get 8 cubic units. Again. And I can put a little 3 up there like I did for squared, or I can write cubic units, or I can do the little 3 to make sure it's cubic, just like we did up here. Okay, let's look at the third one. Again, there's 2 layers. So if we count this first top layer, we can just times 2, or we can add that number again to make 2 layers of the same amount. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 on the top. So if we do a second layer, it would be 10 plus 10, or 10 times 2, because there's 2 layers. So number 3 is going to be 20 cubic units. You can do units with the 3. If you do the 3 or the 2, you have to make sure that you make the right number. If you said squared, it would be wrong. It's not squared, it's cubic. So make sure you get the cubic or the squared units correctly, okay? So for volume, it's cubic. All right? So make sure that when you see this on the sides, make sure you realize that this is all one block. It's not 1, 2, 3. Okay? Make sure. Just like if you had one of the cubes, you could see the side, you could see the edge, just like here. See how you see 3 sides of one block if it's on the corner? That's what you see here. 3 sides of the one block on that corner. So that's just 1. It counts as 1. Okay? So I would like you to try, go ahead and try the rest of them on this page. I don't think you should have too much trouble. It's really just counting the blocks and then adding how many layers you have. Whether you have 2 layers or 3 layers. If you have 3 layers, if there's another layer up here, right? If there's another layer down here, then you would add it again. You would add plus another 4. 1, 2, 3. You'd have 3 layers. Okay, that's all you have to do. So go ahead and try 4 through 9 and come back and check your answers, okay? 4 through 9. Pause the video and you try those. Okay, let's look at number 4. I'm not going to draw all of them because they'll take quite a bit of time, but I'll draw this one because it has more than the 2 layers that I was talking about. So if you count them, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 high. So there would be 4 layers for this one. Okay. Let me draw it really quickly. And then there's 3 layers back. Okay. So then I'll complete the side. Okay, so let's find out how many are in the top layer. If you found out there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one layer. So 6 blocks per layer. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. So you could say 6 times 4, or you can say 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, 4 times, because there's 4 layers. So you should have gotten 24 cubic units. units for number 4. Okay? I'll do number 5 because I have room up here, and then I'll just give you the answers. So let's see, how many high is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 high. Let's see. Did I draw that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And then it's only single. There's only one layer of that. Okay. So you only have to count. There's only 2 per layer. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. So you could do 2 times 6, or you could add the 2 6 times, and you should have gotten 12 cubic units for number 5. Okay. Number 6, you should have gotten 27 cubic units. Number 7, 36 cubic units. 8 would be 16 cubic units, and 9, 32 cubic units. Okay, so go ahead and try it in your workbook page, and we'll correct that tomorrow. See you then. Or we'll correct it Monday. Nope, we'll correct it Tuesday, because Monday you have your vocabulary quiz, and some of the perimeter stuff, and then we'll correct it, and then we'll move on to the next chapter. Okay, so we'll correct it Tuesday. See you then.